There we
And
go.
we're live. There it is. See, sometimes you just got to have Dal. Dal is the master of getting everything live. What's up, everybody? We hope everybody is having an incredible week. I'm hanging out with Joe Wilson from Social Coach, as we always do every single Tuesday at this time, noon Mountain, 11 Pacific, 1 Central, and 2 Eastern. I got it. First try, dude. Can you believe that?
Nice
Nailed
job,
it.
Josh. That's the first time ever, really.
I think that's the first time ever nailing that. But we're talking about shredding social as we do every single week. And this week in particular, we're talking about the changes that are happening, the big changes. I mean, these are some big things, Joe, that we want to share with everybody. Every single week we try to create value. We want to talk about topics, strategies, and things that are literally changing the entire ecosystem that is social media. And these in particular are going to be big. I'm excited to get into them. But first and foremost, how are you, sir?
Doing fantastic today. It's Western Secondary MBA. I'll be down there right after this. I was there yesterday.
Nice.
It's a great conference. Lots of people there. So we're excited to get going.
Getting after it. What's up, Marcy G? What up, G? That's all Marcy needs to drop in there. It's just a G. She said, what up? So, Joe.
How about you, dude? How are you?
Dude, I'm awesome.
How are you doing?
I'm telling you, we are working on some really big things here at Shred. The team and I say the team and I, Dal and I are working on some stuff that I'm so excited for, like literally. And we just got done with the strategy session. So I'm stoked. I'm excited. It's all about social, and that's what this is. So let's dive into it. You and I both know, being that our world revolves around social media, there's always changes coming out. And I think that is like the one constant in mortgage and real estate. Things are always changing. It's always changing. It's always evolving. But more than recently, Joe, or more often, I would say, we're seeing some big changes come to Facebook, Meta, if you will, Instagram. So there's some big changes that people should be aware of.
I'm just surprised it's taken them this long to make these larger changes. I mean, what year was it that Facebook acquired Instagram? It's been, I think it was like 2016, 20.
I would say. I think so. When did Facebook acquire Instagram?
Google's our friend.
I want to know. Like now, I actually want to know.
They bought it
2012.
Oh my gosh, I'm way
yeah.
off.
So it's definitely been a few years.
2012, and now here we are, 10 years later, and I think Meta is, maybe making that parent company. They're now really, really trying hard to merge the two into one. We've seen that over the past couple of years. But I think in the past couple of weeks, we've seen that even more decidedly happening. And I know we're going to talk about a bunch of different things that have been happening, but I know I've been talking to a lot of people. It has been causing a lot of pain and anguish and unrest. So let's talk about those things.
Yeah, I was going to say it really has. They're merging. They're trying to become. It's funny because one platform will come out with something that's like that hits with everybody, and then everybody tries to copy. Like look at TikTok. I mean, that's why we're seeing Instagram go all in on Reels. They just announced recently some really big changes, some platform or even some graphic changes that you're going to be seeing. And actually, as a matter of fact, we want to show you Adam Mosseri he is the head of Instagram. And like he literally, Joe, he actually came out with this and this was his video today. So I want to share it real quick because like this, it totally makes sense. Listen to the guy who actually is making the changes.
There's a lot going on Instagram right now. We're experimenting with a number of different changes to the app. And so we're hearing a lot of concerns from all of you. So I wanted to take a few moments and clarify a few things. One is, if you're seeing a new full screen version of a feed or you're hearing about it, know that that is a test. It's a test to a few percentage of people out there. And the idea is that a more full screen experience, not only for videos, but for photos, might be a more fun, engaging experience. But I also want to be clear, it's not yet good. And we're going to have to get it to a good place if we're going to ship it to the rest of the Instagram community. The second thing I'm hearing a lot of concerns about right now are photos and how we're shifting to video. Now, I want to be clear. We're going to continue to support photos. It's part of our heritage. I love photos. I know a lot of you out there love photos too. That said, I need to be honest. I do believe that more and more of Instagram is going to become video over time. We see this even if we change nothing. We see this even if you just look at chronological feed. If you look at what people share on Instagram, that's shifting more and more to videos over time. If you look at what people like and consume and view on Instagram, that's also shifting more and more to video over time, even when we stop changing anything. So we're going to have to lean into that shift while continuing to support photos. The third thing I want to talk about is recommendations. Recommendations are posts in your feed from accounts that you do not follow. The idea is to help you discover new and interesting things on Instagram that you might not know even exist. Now, if you're seeing things in your feed that are recommendations that you're not interested in, that means that we're doing a bad job ranking. and we need to improve. And you can X out a recommendation. You can even snooze all recommendations for up to a month or go to your following feed. But we're going to continue to try and get better at recommendations.
But there's some like big things that I want to make sure. He, number one, says, hey, it's not perfect. Like we're going to be getting better. Like that is just the biggest thing of it all. Like, hey, we're going to be getting better, but this is a learning experience like all of you. Like it's a learning experience, and that is okay.
I can value that. And actually, I appreciate his humility and his understanding of they don't have it right. And I think that's really telling to a group of developers that are trying their hardest to provide a great experience. And if you think about the team that's on there, they are receiving so much input, so much data, and so much feedback from a variety, millions and millions and millions of people. So they're not going to do something that isn't desired or would be helpful for you. But I think it was funny. I watched this news source on Instagram. It's all stories based, by the way. And it's fantastic. It's called Moshe is his name. And Moisha, he's like
I know exactly.
Like, newscaster. He's great, by the way. But he put it in his story today about Kim Kardashian posting this, and it says, keep Instagram. Stop trying to be like TikTok and I want to see cute pictures of my friends. So that went out to 328 million people today because that's how many followers she has. But it is interesting because I have noticed that I am seeing a lot less photos and a lot more video, which I actually really like. But I do want to see my friends' photos as well.
See, here's the thing, and to his point as well, and he said this, he clearly said, the recommendations are killing me right now. I'm getting so many of them, and especially because guys like you and I, we're active a lot, so we are the ones who are seeing some of these big changes happen quite frequently. So recommendations have just gone over the top. I like seeing my friends' photos. There's a lot of people that I follow them because I want to see their photos. Like I'm seeing way more recommendations than I am. Like sometimes I even have to go search. Like I'll have somebody say, "Oh, did you see my photo?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see it." Like, and then I have to go find it on Instagram. Like, no, I don't want that. I want to see like my feed there. So that's one of those things that, again, keep in mind.
There is something you can do for that. And that's maybe one of the first things. So if you go to your home screen on Instagram, okay. And at the very top, there's this little on the Instagram. If you click that, it says followers or favorites, right? So if you want to have a little more control over your feed, go ahead and click that drop down and favorite the people that you want to actually
took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, guys, if you want to, you can actually change this a little bit. Like if you want to just see those, you can absolutely see those people. So make that happen. One other thing that I think I appreciate Adam's honesty. Like that's one thing that I really, really appreciate. And Instagram, I want to be very, very clear with everybody on here. Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, they're not going anywhere. Whatever, like they're such a juggernaut. They're so big and they understand that they have so many eyeballs. Like, yes, they're going to make tweaks. I appreciate Kim's post because sure. I think keep Instagram. TikTok is TikTok. YouTube is YouTube. Platforms try to copy each other. And then you just have platforms come along that they try to get into the game. You and I were joking, but like the Clubhouses of the world, LinkedIn tried to come out with Reels that just didn't work for them. So everybody will try to get into the game and they might, a new social platform might pop up, but don't go completely focused. Don't say, oh, Facebook's dead now because Clubhouse came to be and Clubhouse is going to be the new thing. Like, look what happened to Clubhouse.
Look, you go based on users and where your preferred audience currently is and double down on that. You can test these other things as they pop up. Go onto TikTok, create those reels. You need to do those things, but make sure you understand your audience and are adding content to where they prefer it. And that's the best.
That's valuable content for those people. But we really wanted to share just a few of these changes. And like I said, be aware of them. Joe and I are going to continue. Maybe we'll do this more frequently because we are seeing more and more. And especially as they start to beta. I mean, Adam said that he is testing it. Some people.
Are you on that? Do you have the new feed?
Yeah, we have the new feed.
Why? It's like, so now it's all full screen and you're just swiping to the next post.
It's funny because when I first saw it, I was like, whoa. And I even asked Dallin, like, is this a change? Like this is filling up my entire screen, which is cool because like sometimes you get half the video and you have to like completely center it. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. But now like fills up the feed and it's like, this is awesome.
I actually really like it.
I do too. I love it.
it was so funny. I was actually arguing, not like a very nice argument with one of my interns this last week, because he got that update before I did, and he was saying how much he hated it.
What?
And I was like, dude, why? That's like amazing. Because like, then when your swipe is so much easier to get to the next post versus
So much
having to be
easier.
a little more measured with it. So
I just say I'm a big fan of it. I think more and more people, and I like you. I love seeing pictures, but I love video, like short form content. Like I am a big fan of video content. We create a ton of it. I engage with a lot more of it. So I think we're going to see a lot more platforms. As Adam mentioned, we're going to see a lot more of that come to be. So experiment with it. I love what you said, Joe. Experiment, try something new with it. Maybe not go all in yet, but at least get familiar with it. More than anything, most of you aren't posting anyways, or most of you aren't creating enough content. So start there, get familiar with what's going on, and start making it happen. So, Joe, that's it. We want to be short and simple, to the point, guys. If you want to get more tips, if you want to get more like feedback, Joe and I are always here. Send us a message, reach out to us on our social platforms, and we'll make sure we get your questions answered.
Josh, one thing.
Yeah.
One last thing, and I think this is tangible advice for anybody with these changes, because things are going more to the full screen here, and video. So create more video, but if you're going to create static images or video, make sure that you're doing it in a more full screen fashion, right?
Yep.
Vertical, everything vertical. But even like your feed, the profile view is going more towards a 4x5 grid versus the 1x1.
1x1.
I think changing up, if you're creating strategy, all of our content we're creating for all of our clients and ourselves, we've gone away from the 1x1 and going to 4x5 or 9x16. And that's some really great tangible advice you could take right now to improve your experience for your followers and your community online.
And if you have no idea what Joe is talking about, he's talking about the dimensions, like wherever you're editing your content, like it's the dimensions of it. That's 1x1 was kind of the standard, if you will, on social platforms. But now it's changing. Like you said, it's more rectangles, the 9x16, the 4x5. So that is great. Like we just gave you tactical advice. Go start changing them, making those edits. But Joe mentioned, like if you're just shooting video, do it freaking or portrait all the time. Portrait, yeah, that's
100% of the time.
Like that's.
If you help that, call me or Josh, and we'll help you.
I say send us a message and we'll help you out. We want to see you succeed on social media because that's what we're all about. Joe, as always, this was absolutely brilliant. We always share tactical advice. If you guys have questions or if you have comments, let us know. If you want us to dive into something even more, send us a message and we'd love to get into that. As always, you guys are amazing. Joe, you're incredible. Drive safe. It's going to secondary. It's always a good time. Let us know how it goes there, and we'll see everybody next week on Shredding Social. Later.